What's up, DIY queens? It's your design bestie, Cara Newhart, and this is Make Space.
Okay, so Erika, welcome to Make Space.
Thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me. This is
Oh
fun.
my gosh, I'm so excited. It's so fun because it's like we've talked so much, but never face to face or in person.
I know. I know. So weird, right?
So weird, but it's like I already know you because I follow all your content, and that's the fun thing about social. It's
Yeah.
like you have so many friends that you're like, yeah, I know all about your life, but have never met you in person.
And some of them, when I do meet them, I'm like, oh, this isn't weird.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Well, you're technically a stranger, but not really.
right,
So
but
here we
not
are.
really. Like we can just dive right in and skip the small talk. It's only weird if everyone
Exactly.
is like a different height than I expected. Then I'm like, whoa, like
Mm.
I thought you were taller. Like,
Yeah. People always think I'm taller than I am. I'm
yeah.
like a little small person. So,
Oh, so cute. So cute. Okay, well, we have lots to get into, but I think the most interesting thing is that you've lived a whole other life before this in a totally different
yeah.
career. So I'd like to start
Yes.
with that because I think it's so fascinating. And then the windy path that led you to being a home creator. So what was that?
Yeah.
I guess
Okay.
big
Well,
reveal.
I don't even know where to start. Well, I have always been interested in an entertainment career.
Yeah.
It led me to sort of dabble in radio in college, and then I moved here to Cleveland, Ohio, to be closer to my boyfriend, now husband.
Yeah.
And there was an opportunity that opened up at a radio station, and I went from being basically the girl that just answered the phones to
Uh-huh.
like within 6 months being a full-time on-air talk show host. It was
Yeah.
like a afternoon drive time, but it was like all talk, like talk radio. We talked
Right.
about pop culture, sports, news, everything you could think of. It was me and like three male comedians.
Oh my gosh.
So it
How
was
wild.
really fun
Yeah.
and funny. And I feel like I really thought that's where I was going in life. Like I literally
Yeah.
wanted to be the next Ryan Seacrest,
Okay.
basically, and I thought
Uh-huh.
I was heading down that path. And like somewhere around 2017, 2018, I developed a chronic illness called POD syndrome.
Yeah.
And basically, I just started fainting all the time,
Yeah.
and nobody knew why. And it was
Yeah.
like really freaky for a while. I thought I was dying. It was like
Uh-huh.
very dramatic. But
Yeah.
I just stopped being able to just show up every day. It
Right.
would be really difficult to be on a set schedule. I mean, radio is a fun career, but it's also very corporate. It's also very much a
Yep.
9 to 5,
Yep.
or even later. And I was having to work events on weekends.
Right.
We were doing bar crawls for the radio show and stuff. And so I feel like I just wasn't able to keep up anymore. And
Yeah.
so I don't want to say it was a mutual decision because I really tried to like still maybe work from home.
Yeah.
But the company opted to just let my contract run out,
Mm.
and I had to go on disability for a little while, and it was
Wow.
really
Yeah.
scary because I just couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. It was my
Right.
passion. It was just what I love to do.
Yeah.
And then in the downtime of like trying to feel better, I just started to decorate little corners of my home because
Uh-huh.
that has always been like a hobby. I never really
Right.
thought of it as a potential career, you
Right.
know? I didn't go to school for design, nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think I got like my first 5,000 followers. And I think I said something to my mom and dad, like, I might have something here. I
Uh-huh.
think people are liking this. And my parents at that point were just encouraging me and my husband as well to just do
Aw.
anything that would give me some purpose. And,
Yeah.
it was a really dark time in my life.
Mm.
And within, I want to say like a year and a half, I was able to get off of disability. And even though I'm technically still considered disabled by the state of Ohio,
Uh-huh.
I just started my own business working for myself. And I think a lot of people don't really understand totally what we do. Like
Right.
I don't do interior design for people. I don't take on clients like that.
Mm-hmm.
I essentially make DIYs, share the tutorials online. I redecorate spaces in my home, and then brands basically pay me to promote their product in whatever project I'm working on.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years or so, and it's really just been such a fun adventure.
Yes. Oh my gosh, there's so many good things to unpack here. I guess the first thing
Yeah.
that came to mind is like you're the perfect podcast guest. Like you're so already trained for radio. Like
I had
more
someone over
professional
the
than
other
me.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend over the other day who does this job too, and I recorded the intro for my YouTube video in one take, and she was
Yeah.
like,
What?
I would have had to do that 5,000 times. What is
Yep.
up with that?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I worked in radio. It's
Right.
fine."
Like I got it. It's already, yeah, we're
Yeah.
already there. I love that so
Yeah.
much. And I definitely want to unpack the chronic illness in a minute, but I feel like we should do the
Yeah.
lighter stuff first.
Yeah.
Just to give people more a sense of who you are, because I feel like if I was initially going to find you on social media, and I did
Hmm.
before I really understood like that was your story, like you
Yeah.
were on TikTok, you were so consistent. You were sharing all these like so like fun videos like every single day. And I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, I can't keep up." Da, 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 da. And then finding out that level of depth of your story, I was like, wow, like you have so much going on, and the way you're able to balance it all, and not like behind the scenes, like you're so open about your path and your journey while at,
Yeah.
but then your house is like phenomenal, like
Oh,
gorgeous,
thank
like
you.
elevated DIYs that look like magazines, like, and so just having all of that to offer, first of all, it's like you're amazing. So that's why I invited you here. But also,
Oh, thank
it's
you.
just so encouraging because it's like you can have a beautiful space and you can have real life happening to you and be
Right.
able to balance it all. And not that it's always easy, but that it's doable. And the way you're showing people that is just, it's so cool. It's so cool. But I want to start by diving into like your style because I think
Sure.
you have such a beautifully curated style. So how would you like describe your design style?
I will say it's evolved quite a bit. I think my style has evolved because I decided to stop following trends and
Mm,
following certain designer styles and
yeah.
just hone in on what I love. I mean, I really thought I
Mm.
was Joanna Gaines to start. Man,
Oh
if you
yeah.
scroll back to my Instagram far enough, it's real scary.
Yeah, same, same.
I'm like, why did I think I lived in a farmhouse in Cleveland,
Right.
Ohio? Like, I definitely didn't.
Right.
Um, but I think over time, what I realized is I just love things that look elevated, that
Mm,
don't cost a fortune, but they huge impact. And
yeah.
also, I think I have been saying for a long time, oh, I'm in my moody era. I'm in my moody era. But I think that's
Right.
just actually who I am.
You. Yeah.
I don't think it's an era. I think it's here to stay.
Right.
Um, I really love like playing with contrast, the light and the dark. I just think it sets like moods for your space that just feel so inviting. And when you go through chronic health issues as well, I like spaces that are calming as well and feel
Yeah.
cozy for me to sit in for
Mm,
hours at a time. Or if I'm having a rough day and I'm stuck in bed, I want my bedroom to be like light and airy and feel like
yeah.
I'm outside, if even though I
Yeah.
can't be, kind of a thing.
Wow.
um,
Yeah.
and then now I'm in a home where we just moved to a new house, and it's a 90s builder grade, and the ceilings were high, the rooms were long. It just lent itself to me towards more of that Victorian style.
Right.
And I have always adored that style. I just didn't think
Yeah.
I could pull it off in our last home, but this
Right.
home seems like it can carry it. So I'm really leaning into that, and I'm putting a modern flair on it because I want it to
Right.
feel like, oh no, this house exists today. It's just
Right.
I'm borrowing all the best tricks and moldings and things of the past to make
Mm,
it feel like maybe it's always been here at the same
yeah.
time.
Right. So it's not like a period house where it looks like a relic. It's like, let's take the
Yes.
good stuff, infuse it with the new stuff, and have like a perfect like blend.
And I do love the period houses too. There's a few that I follow
Yeah.
on Instagram,
Oh, yeah.
and I love them and I borrow inspiration from them, but I figure out how to translate
Yes.
it into today's world. Like, what would a
Mm,
Victorian woman in today's world, how would she decorate her house? Is kind of
right.
what I'm going for right now.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, but like along the lines of us starting out thinking we're Joanna Gaines, I think it's important to go here because so many people that tune into the show are like everyday women wanting to take charge of their house. And the
Hmm.
first way that you see to do that is like, here's this person I really love, and I'm just going to
Hmm.
do what they're doing. And that is
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, it's just how you learn, like you emulate and then you kind of branch out after that. But
Yes.
what
Hmm.
are some tips for like, evolving your style over time and starting out with like yeah I guess just there.
I always tell people when they come to my page, I'm not here to have you copy every single element of my room.
Right.
What I'm here for is you to borrow what you love, take what you
Mm,
love, leave the rest. Don't feel like you have to
yeah.
say, oh, well, Erica had a beige couch in boucle fabric, so I have to have a beige couch. But
Mm,
if boucle fabric doesn't work for your lifestyle, for your family, for
yeah.
your personal taste, leave it. but maybe you love the rug I did, or maybe you love the curtains or the wall color. I've had a lot of people, I'm sure you recall that mauve bedroom that I did.
Yeah.
That sort of, that color, wall color took on a life of its own because people loved it or
Yeah.
hated it.
Mm-hmm.
But people have been painting their rooms that color, but then totally doing the design how they like it. And I love that.
Right.
Like they're borrowing from me what they love and they're leaving the rest. And I'm totally fine with that because you're going to, how many thousands of followers do we have? Someone's going to find something in each room that we do that's for
Yes.
them.
Yes.
So I think that's my
Yes.
number one tip is just borrow what you love. Take a design concept or maybe one element from a room that you really love that you are like so passionate about, put that into your space and then leave the other stuff from your favorite creator. It doesn't have to be the
Right.
exact same.
Right. That's what I always say is like, don't copy and paste. And it's
Yeah.
honestly eerie. Like there's a few people that have like redone my entire bathroom exactly. And I'm like, I'm so honored that they like love
Yeah.
that much. But it's also like just weird to see. And I'm
Yeah, it
like,
is.
oh, like if you did that by really being like, I love every single thing and each
Right.
of
Right.
these serves the function of my life and each of these are my style, then like yes, you can copy and paste. But
Right.
I want that intentionality of like curating your own space and then pulling in those elements that like work with you.
Yeah.
So I think
Because you
that's a
know
really
what?
good
My
tip.
lifestyle, we're dinks, dual income, no
Yeah.
kids. So
Uh-huh.
like we have cats, but like they're really not messing anything up for the most
Right.
part. So it's like, obviously, what I'm going to put in my house is not going to be the same as someone who has four children,
Yes.
three of them boys, and they're running
Yeah.
around like crazy with
Uh-huh.
mud and eat dirt and all that. Like, of course, nobody's going to have white walls in a house with toddlers. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Or
right.
maybe they will and they just don't mind touching up the paint every once in a while. But
Mhm.
yeah, it just really needs to suit your lifestyle. So that's what I always point people to is like, I love that you love my style, but make sure it works for your home. And
Right.
whatever pieces do work for your home, great. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of people can put a built-in in their house and with kids and whatever, I'm sure it would be totally fine. Put the fragile stuff up high
Up high,
and you're
yeah.
good to go. So just
Right.
borrow what works for you.
Right. And make those adjustments so that it fits your life. I love that.
Totally.
Um, so how do you like navigate trends when you see a new trend? Like what is kind of your approach to being like, this is for me or this isn't for me? Do you have like a go-to
Um,
plan?
I think it's just about how does it work for what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I always put it under the lens of is this my style? Big bold marble countertops have been like all the rage right now. That viola marble has been
Uh-huh.
trending in kitchens. I'm
Yes.
not going to put that in an entire kitchen because for me that's a lot of look.
Right. Right.
However, I built a coffee table out of it. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm borrowing a little smidgen of the trend. I'm incorporating it, but I'm not making a permanent decision in my house using a trend.
Yes.
But some trends I do think can be classics. One instance I would say is like the Harlequin tile floors.
Mm-hmm.
That's been around for centuries. I don't think
Right.
it's having its moment again, that
Right.
pattern.
Right.
I did that tile in my foyer, but I know it's going to
Mm-hmm.
stand the test of time. You can't
Right.
marble and limestone, they're not going to go out of style.
Right.
So I try to look at the trends and see if there are ones that I think will stand the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
And if they will, then I'll try to incorporate it in my space. But if it seems like it's fleeting, like I know people always say this, like rattan and like cane webbing and stuff. They're like, oh, it's going out, it's going out. But I'm like, texture is never going out of style.
Never.
It's
Yeah.
texture.
Right.
And you just have to find new ways to incorporate it. Maybe instead of doing cane webbing in its natural form, maybe you're spray painting it now to match
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're doing so it's monochrome. There are
Right.
ways to sort of adjust the trends to sort of make them work for your personal style, but also make them last longer than the trend itself.
Right. Yeah. And what came to mind when you said caning is like if you have like a personal connection, because I literally remember being so little and sitting in my grandma's dining room and she had these caning chairs and one had a
Yeah.
hole in it and I would like shove the food I didn't want through the hole. But it's like, so that makes it like personal. And so like I'm
Hmm.
in with caning for the long run. Like even when it's out of
Yeah.
style, it's here, it's for me. But yeah, I love that, like adjusting it over time or just taking little bits of it so that you don't make like huge investment level decisions
Yeah.
on a trend,
Or
but you still
owning
get to
it.
try it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
someone tells me something I've done in my house is out, I'll say, okay, well, it's my house and I love my
Right?
house, so
Right?
I don't care.
Right?
And
My
there are
favorite.
plenty of people like that too. That's why I try really hard to like never
Yes.
do hard, fast advice, like very harsh criticisms of people that have a certain design trend in their home, like don't
Uh-huh.
do ship laps out, things like that. Because I'm
Right.
like, if you love it, I promise it will work for you.
Right.
Because if you're passionate about it and you're willing to decorate your space around it and it means something to you or you
Yeah.
like to look at it, I don't really care what the trends are. I always say like
Right.
happy people and happy homes. So like if the
Yeah, I
trends
love
aren't
that.
following what you love, don't worry about it. Go your own
Right.
path, stick to that course.
Yeah.
Because I don't unless you're planning on like selling your home, yeah, okay,
Right.
maybe you might need to tone down a trend or two here because it could be very buyer specific. But most
Right.
people, at least in this economy, we're kind of in our homes for a hot minute
For
now.
a while, yeah.
So yeah. So I think if you really like something, then go for it. And like I said, there's a way to make some of those trends work more, in a modern way, just depending on how you apply them.
Yes. And even if it's like you're worried about resale, like do it on your furniture, like you did with your coffee table.
Yeah,
Like do on a thing that's like
exactly.
yours anyway, that they don't get to
Right.
have.
That you can
Yeah.
take with you.
Uh-huh.
That's the other thing too is if you put all the trends into the pieces that you have in your home, those pieces can come with you whether you're in that
Right.
home or not, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm. I love it. It's so good. Um, okay, so this is a fun question because I feel like there's so much we could unpack here, but what has opening up your home to people on the internet and sharing your process of DIY and decor illuminated for you?
I'm gonna sip my water on this one.
Right? Give it a little think about
Well,
what you want to say.
I will say I think my career in radio prepared me for the World Wide Web, and what goes on when you post any project.
Uh-huh.
You have to have a thick skin. And then
Yeah.
it's unfortunate that that's the case. I wish more
Right.
people treated people on the internet like they would treat someone to their face,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
just not the reality. And you got to be able to let some of that roll off because at the end of the day, it is your home.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this is my job, and I open up my home and I share it and I work with brands, but it's still my house. I have to live here all day. I spend
Yeah.
24/7 here.
Right.
But yeah, the online criticism can be intense because it's
Mm-hmm.
not always constructive. Most of the time,
Yeah.
it's not. I think you just need to be very grounded in who you are as a person and what your design aesthetic is, and just stick to your
Mm.
guns. And when it comes to DIY, there's a reason why it's called do it yourself because
Right.
we're not professionals.
Uh-huh.
We do it ourselves.
Preach,
So
yes.
when you post a DIY online, there are going to be people that take issue with your process. They're going to say,
Right.
why'd you use IKEA Billy bookshelves to build that instead of building your own shelves?
Right.
Why did you, prime it with this particular primer? I don't like that primer. You just have to know what works for you and go
Right.
with that and
Right.
then be willing to stick by it. I don't think you need to be combative with people. I try not to, get stoop to their level, but at the
Right.
same time, I do stand my ground. I say, this is why I made this decision. It works for me, it works for my home, and that's the
Mm.
important thing. And maybe
Yeah.
it helps somebody else, maybe it doesn't, but I'm sharing what I did.
Right.
And that's really all you can do because I don't know any one of us that doesn't have hate comments or
Mm-hmm.
deep
Mm-hmm.
criticisms of our work, especially us in the DIY community. There are a million
Yeah.
people that want to tell you how to do it.
Uh-huh.
And that's fine. They come on over to my house and do it for me.
I
I
was
would
gonna
love
say
it.
there you do it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is hard. Come on
Right.
over.
Right. But yeah, I was literally just talking about this in like one of the last episodes. Like it took me 2 months to make this space. And now you're going to come in here and in 5 seconds rip the whole thing
Tear
apart.
it
It's like
down.
that
Yeah,
level of effort is not fair. And therefore, I'm just not going to give that much weight to that decision because it's
right.
like it took you 5 seconds to say that, you know? But
And a
yeah.
lot of times they don't even watch the whole video. They don't know the full story. Or,
Right.
there's I've got wood floors in my house and they have to run a certain direction because that's how the
Right.
floor joists are running. And we would have had to add all new underlayment throughout the entire house to be able to run them the correct
Other
the
way.
correct way, long
Right.
ways.
Right.
But it's like I know the explanation behind it, so I will quickly explain it to people, but if they don't accept that as an answer, I'm like, well, you
Sorry.
weren't here when we were making the decision, and
Right.
like I didn't want to pay $3,000 for extra underlayment on my floors and rip up my tile to do that
Right.
and all of it.
Right.
So I think people don't know the full backstory, especially when it comes to DIYs. And me as well. I get a lot of criticisms about even like how I use my saw and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could go into a long explanation of, oh, well, I sit down when I saw usually because I have a fainting condition, or I
Right.
could just
Right.
ignore, you know?
Right? Like, sorry, I have to make accommodations so I don't pass out while I'm sawing this
Yeah.
board. Thank you. Like,
I
yeah,
definitely think that's a video I need to make at some point, like
it
all my
is.
accommodations, because they're like, people have no idea. Behind the scenes, I'm working
Yeah.
magic to try to make
Uh-huh.
things come together,
Uh-huh.
and work for
Yeah.
me.
Right.
But yeah, at this point, I just take the criticism with a grain of salt. It's very rare that someone gets under my skin. It's usually only when people take personal digs at you, like attacks and stuff. I
Yes.
will just block those
Yes.
people because, you know,
Goodbye.
I am just a body in the shot. Really, the focus should
Mm-hmm.
be on my work. That's
Work.
that's
Yeah.
100% what I want. Do you like the project? If you don't, that's totally fine, but it should be
Right.
about that.
Right. You don't need to come for me. Like, do you like
Yeah.
the paint color or not? Like, let's talk about that. I'm not putting myself out here for personal critique. Like, we can talk
Right.
about my work. I would not be sharing if it was like a personal
And
critique to me.
I'm not saying or doing anything offensive or worthy of
Right.
personal critique. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm
Like, I'm
literally
just
just doing a
existing.
DIY.
Cool. Yeah.
It's not that serious, you
Right.
know?
Like a DIY in my own house that I paid for. And yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. It is funny, the online space. It also is funny to me to watch so many people that are like newer creators come onto the scene. And
Hmm.
it's like, I don't know, validating in a way to see that like it's not just me. Like it's like the internet is
Yeah.
just a weird and wild place. And you go through the cycles of like not really being confident and putting out things that are kind of like emulating other people's work, and then you kind of grow, and then people rip you down and you take it to heart, and then eventually you get
Yeah.
thick skin. You're like, here's who I am, here's what I'm doing, here's my house, you like it or you don't. And then it's like once you reach that level, you're like so much easier.
And I think when you're in your not giving an F era, I think that's really like when your creativity starts to blossom and you just hone
Yes.
in on
Mm,
exactly who you are, what your style is, what you do best. And
right.
honestly, I think it really helps us grow as designers. I don't want to give
Oh
any
yeah.
trolls credit for tearing
Right.
us down, but I will say that, if you've been in this business long enough, it does make you stronger and it makes you more creative and passionate about what you
Mm-hmm.
do.
Right. Because it's like you're forced to be more solid. Like people taking
Yeah.
all those hits. That's what it is. It's like you're
Yeah.
forced to be more solid and more sure
Yeah,
in
I'm
what you're
so
doing.
resolute in the decisions I'm making now too.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. This is the first time, like just being in this house, it's the first time
Mhm.
that designing spaces has come so naturally for me.
Yeah. Isn't that
Usually I
funny
am
how it
hemming
works?
and hawing over every single design decision. And people are asking, "Oh, how did you get your inspo for this house?" Or like, How did you even think to do this?" And I'm like,
Uh
it
huh.
just happened. Like it just
Happens.
flowed.
Yeah.
Um, I had mood boards for this house before we even moved in.
Mm hmm.
So it
Mm
was
hmm.
like I already like I saw the house. I looked at the pictures online again after we left and I'm like, I know what I'm doing here. And
Yeah.
I think that's part and parcel due to the fact that I've evolved over the years, developed a personal style, and I've become
Mm,
strong in my design sensibility because
right.
I've dealt with some criticism here and there on different design elements that I featured before.
Right. It's
So
like a little
yeah,
version of like a dissertation. Like you have to defend your work like day in and day
yes.
out till you reach the point where you're like, okay, I know this. I'm 100% sure.
Yeah, this house is my thesis, you
Right. It's
know?
my thesis. I see your project. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. Well, you share a lot of like the deep stuff about
Mhm.
having a chronic condition. And I
Yeah.
think that is so important for people, number one, who also are in the same boat. But number two, to see that like that level of work and intentionality you put in your house, like you're choosing to do that like on your good
Yeah.
days, on the days you
Yeah.
have energy and you can get out of bed and you can function, like you're choosing to be in your space. And so that not only says something about like the importance of your house in like supporting you, but also just like the importance of investing in your space so that you can
Mhm.
like be supported by it. So I
Mhm.
guess like what what has that process been like opening up online about that? Has
That
it been
I will,
hard?
if I'm totally transparent, I still do struggle with the level of transparency that I have
Mm,
on social media.
Yeah.
there are times where I don't share what's going on behind the scenes because
Yeah.
I'll get criticism of people saying, "Oh my God, you're always whining. It's depressing." And then
Mm.
I go through periods of sharing more of what's going on because I get messages of support from people saying, I also have POTS syndrome, or I have a similar chronic
Yes.
condition, or I also struggle with
Mm.
my health. And it's wonderful to see you talking about that at the same time of sharing these beautiful projects. Um,
Yeah.
so it's sort of, I'm trying to walk a line at all times because at the end of the day, I always want to be known for my work first. I want people to
Right.
see me, the designer, me, the creator first versus me, the sick person. Because being
Mm.
sick, even though it sort of took over my life and it's the number one, my health has to be my number one priority at all
Yeah.
times. I don't want that to be the only thing I'm known for.
Right.
It's just not something I want to always focus on. But there are times where it felt like I was lying to people if I didn't share what
Mm.
was going on. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, just this year, I was down in bed for an entire month with migraines. And it was
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
if I don't chime in and tell people what's happening, they're going to think that I just didn't feel like doing anything or
Mm-hmm.
posting anything. And I am not lazy. And that is like the one thing that I struggle with all the time with accepting that I have to rest. I have to have periods of rest with this
Mm-hmm.
condition because
Yes.
I never want to be seen as someone who's lazy or is like, skipping out on work kind of a thing. Like I came off of disability to prove not only to myself, but to the people around me that like I am not just someone who just wants to kick back and let life pass me by and collect a monthly check. Not to say that there aren't
Right.
people that need that. You know what I mean? There are people
Right.
that truly are so ill that they for sure need to be in their home and rest every day. But I just
Right.
had to do more. It just I couldn't sit in bed all day. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't good for me either. It's actually
Right.
good for my health to be up and active. So yeah, I try to have a healthy balance of here's all the exciting projects I have going on and look at everything I've done. And then the reality of, hey guys, it took me 6 months to complete this living room because I was down for a month and a half of it. And I hope it helps somebody. If it
Mm.
helps, they
Yeah.
always say if it helps one person, it's worth it. I
Yep.
genuinely believe that.
Yep.
Um, but yes, at the same time, I'm still like trying to find the balance of like, do I really tell people the truth? Because I'll be
Yeah.
honest, as transparent as I have been on my pages, people don't actually know the
What it
full real
feels
story.
like either.
It
Yeah.
is, I struggle every single day in the middle of my project, when I'm finishing my project, when I'm photographing my project, when I'm
Mm.
uploading that project and typing out the captions, I struggle every single day.
Yeah.
And if I focused on that, I think I would be
Yeah.
depressed all the time. So
Right.
I try to just push it down when I can. And then, I have my bad days where I cry, I
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
frustrated. I don't know how many times I've told my husband, like, why me? Like, if I was
Right.
just
Oh.
healthy, look at all the DIYs I could do and look at how
Mm.
quickly I could accomplish things. But I let myself have a day and
Yeah.
then I get over that and I wake up the next day like, okay, let's get out of that funk and let's get back to what I'm passionate about. And I'll just do what I can today. If I can't do
Mm.
everything, that's all right.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I would like to think that the impression I give to my followers is not all about, oh, woe is me and my life is hard, because my life is also really rewarding. Doing this job,
Right.
extremely rewarding. And we're very lucky that we get to have a career where we don't have to show up to a 9 to 5 every day. I can work
Yes.
around my health. And I'm
Yes.
so lucky and grateful for that. So I try to focus on the positive as much as I can.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know what's wild though? While you were telling me that, it's so fascinating that your design style like fits your life, like the
Yeah.
contrast, like you're holding
Yeah.
like beautiful, incredible spaces and like really hard, real moments. So
Yeah.
it's like you and your design style that you finally are like being yourself is like you, like your
Yeah.
story. Like, how cool is that?
I think yeah, I'm literally looking at an art print that I have in my home of this lady sitting in a gown in a chair.
Uh huh.
And that's how I feel sometimes. I feel
Yeah.
like I have dressed up my house so
Mm.
beautifully, but then behind the scenes, I'm exhausted. I'm sitting in a chair. I'm,
Yes.
I'm laying down on the couch. I'm like relieved it's done, but like
Mhm.
totally, I've totally overexerted myself. So it's just, and I didn't
Yeah.
even really think about that when I picked out that print. But sometimes I feel like our designs sort of echo what's happening in
Yeah.
our lives?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, I feel you also with that boundary of like how much do I share? Because
Yeah.
my struggle has been like mental health over the past year. It's like I moved to New Jersey,
Yeah.
essentially thinking like I'm moving here, I'm gonna get a divorce, like I'm gonna live next to Jesse and have a support system and renovate this house. And now
Yeah.
being in the middle of like, am I staying or am I going? Like I don't know
Yeah.
what to do. And honestly, it feels like I've laid on the floor and cried for a year. But like on social, you never would have known that because there's still
Yeah.
a project every once in a while. Definitely not as consistent as it was. It was like every weekend there was something.
Yeah.
But it's like, how much do I share? Because a lot of the process is like when you're in it, sometimes you just need to be in it. Like I'm working through it and it's for
Yeah.
me to be here and no one else gets to look at that. And then sometimes it's like sharing that helps others or it helps you when you get that feedback. So,
Oh, it's cathartic
yeah.
for sure to
Yeah.
let it out.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how
Yeah.
many times I just want to like get on my Instagram and be like, you guys, I've had the worst health week ever. Like, I feel
Yeah.
terrible. I feel depressed. I feel like I'm never going to be able to do another DIY again. I'm freaking out. Like, I
Right.
want to just, and, on occasion, I'll sort of let those things out. And gosh, it is freeing because it just
Mm.
feels like I'm keeping this big secret from my audience. And
Right.
I do
Right.
think just as much as we have a responsibility to sort of be authentic and be honest with people, especially about like product reviews and things like that,
Yep.
but also about who we are as people. So people
Yeah.
know who they are following and supporting.
Yes.
But I also think the onus is on our followers too to understand that we are real people. Like,
Mhm.
man, just like you have problems in your life, we do too,
Right.
and just give people a little more grace, you
Right.
know? I mean, I
Right.
will say I have a super supportive following. It's
Yeah.
usually never any of my followers that's saying anything negative to me.
Right.
It's always some
Right.
random person that
Random
comes
person.
across my page, okay? But
Yes.
I think it's important to see, even though we're online creators and we have this platform and this pedestal that we're put on, some
Mm.
of us a huge pedestal with millions of followers and things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to see us as human beings first because
Right.
we're not gonna be perfect all the time. We're not gonna do the perfect thing. We're not gonna say the perfect thing. And we're struggling in our own lives with figuring things out as well.
Right. Right. And that some of that is going to be in real time, like here's the day and here's what's happening. And sometimes it's like there's some things we can only share in retrospect because we had to go
Yeah.
through it first to be able to
Oh,
tell the story.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
there's definitely some of those moments too where I think, okay, I'm ready to tell people why this project took me 6 months,
Right.
or what was going on when I was creating this space.
Right.
I think I just opened up recently to people. I was really having a hard time the first couple of months of living in this house because
Yeah.
I had just left our fully furnished, fully
Yes.
designed,
Yes.
finished house with all
Mhm.
my blood, sweat, and tears and all my hard work into. And then I'm living in this space that felt like I was staying at an Airbnb, like somebody
Yes.
else's house, you
Oh my
know?
gosh.
And it wasn't until I started finishing some of the projects in our living room space, I was able to see more of like what's home for me now and
Right.
feel like it
Right.
was home.
No, but that's so funny because literally my next question that I had written down was like, I feel like I know what it's like to leave like a house you've worked on for so long and feel
Yeah.
like it's almost done and then like start over. And I know for me, the second guessing I did where I was like, what have I done? Like, was this actually the
Yeah.
right call? Like, I have so much work to get it like just moved in, much less to be able to do like projects.
And the problem is I did it to myself. My husband and I are
Yeah,
such impulsive people, and that
same.
can be problematic.
Right.
Especially like my buddy Drew from Lone Fox Home. He
Uh
bought a new
huh.
house, and I've been watching all his
Yeah.
projects and weighing in on things he should do and things that he
Uh huh.
got for this
Uh
house.
huh.
And I'm like, Drew, should I, on a Friday, I was like, should I just like get a new house? And he's like, yeah, we should both be renovating at the same time. Of
Right.
course, he's a bad
Oh my
influence,
gosh.
but
Right,
literally, I
right.
think on that Tuesday, we contacted our realtor friend. I told my husband, I was like, let's get a new house. And he's like, okay. So
Oh
that's
my
how
gosh.
impulsive we are. And then I think 2 months later, we found a house. So, I mean,
Oh gosh.
that level of being impulsive can when you get to that actual moving day and those
Yeah.
the period of 2 months of living in a new house before
Uh-huh.
anything is your style or renovated, it's a
Right.
little disconcerting to say the least.
Right.
Also, our last house, we got an all cash offer on it and they turned it into an Airbnb. And we knew that going into
Oh
it.
my gosh. That would have
So,
triggered me. I'd be like, no.
yeah, so I'm reading all the reviews online of like the Airbnb and like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so when we finally got in here and it just didn't feel like my house. And you know what the other thing too is? I'm so weird about this. I'm like a weirdo, but smells. When it doesn't smell
Me
like
too.
your house,
Yeah.
that
Mine
weirds
still
me
doesn't smell like my
out.
house. And I'm like, because, okay, so before this, I'd only ever bought new builds. Like our first ever house was a new
Yeah.
build.
So that has
And then
no
when we
smell.
were
So
in,
that's nice,
no smell, like fresh
Yeah.
paint. And then I moved here and it's like still, it's a year later and it doesn't smell like me. Because
Yeah.
I literally in January, we were like, oh, we should move to New Jersey. By April, we had traded in like our big house and bought two dumpster fire houses, like
Yeah.
for
You are
what that
brave.
one cost. Dumpster fire, like so bad. And they're both old. They're like 1840, 1880. And I
Yeah.
had never owned anything older than a brand new house. It's like, how do you think this is going to end? Like, you're going to need an adjustment period at the
Yeah.
very least.
I will
And it
tell
took a
you,
year.
we almost purchased a 1920s Tudor home. We were
Uh huh.
like, the day we decided not to buy that home is the day we found this home. I have no regrets
Yeah.
on passing on that home. And I'll tell
That's
you
good. That's
why.
good.
I didn't want to have to worry about fixing things like boilers and siding
Yeah.
and roofs.
Yeah.
I wanted to just start doing the pretty stuff like replacing
Yeah.
floors and
Yeah.
like remodeling a fireplace and like adding ceiling medallions. Like
Uh
I
huh.
just could not imagine. Now that I see some of these spaces finished, I think the depression I would have been in if I had been in that 1920s Tudor home, which by the way, it
Yeah.
did not have all the remaining characters. So it was not like
Right. Like, not even like worth it
not even
almost. If you're
charming.
gonna.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
no
Just old.
charm. Yeah. So I feel like, uh, we made the right decision on the right house. And I knew it was the right decision, even when I was like questioning, oh my gosh, we just left our whole house for this
Yeah.
renovation project. But I think ultimately it ended up being the right call. And now that I'm seeing the
Yes.
spaces come together, it just like every day I walk around, I tell my husband, I'm like, the living room's done. I'm like, and I love it so much. It's
Oh.
like
Yeah.
everything I ever wanted.
Oh.
It just works for us so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're about to start our kitchen renovation, and even though that's going to be like a nightmare, probably, I'm still also very excited because
Right.
I see the vision so clearly in this
Yeah.
house, and I've never had that before. So I
Yeah.
think once I got over the initial shock of just moving, I'm now realizing how well this house works for us, and which by the way, it is way bigger than the two of us need. I think it's like something ridiculous, like 3,100 square feet.
Uh
But it
huh.
was like a crazy opportunity we couldn't pass up. We were
Yeah.
looking for like, we went from a 1,500 square feet to this, and we were only
Right.
looking for like 2,000 to 2,500 max. So
Uh huh.
the possibilities here are just endless. There's just so many more rooms to do and so many more
Yeah.
ideas I have.
You don't
Um,
outgrow it so soon.
yeah, and I think
Like, you can be there for a
honestly,
while.
I really want this to be like our forever house. The only way you can
Oh.
convince me to move from here would be if we got a house on the lake in Cleveland, which is like millions of dollars. So
Right.
unlikely that that's going to happen.
But still possible, but far
But
off maybe.
you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. You
Maybe
never
the
know.
peony and honey product line is coming out there and
Right.
it's going to sell like hotcakes. Who knows?
Right. Right.
But I think it's our foreseeable future house. And I think
Mm.
that's a really comforting feeling because our last house always felt like a transitional home. It never felt like
Right.
we're staying here forever, you know?
Right.
So I think I'm settling into that now, that feeling. We also have great
Mm.
neighbors too, which let me tell you,
That's so
money
special.
cannot buy that, you know?
Yeah. I have really entertaining neighbors. They're great in the way that they're like
Good
my
people
one neighbor
watching.
brought me like good people watching, and they're so I confuse them so much. They're like,
Yeah.
"What this girl's so weird and so
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, because I definitely bought the house that like needs a whole new roof and needs a
And
boiler, and I'm
you're
like
out
over
there
here,
doing everything, aren't
right,
you?
with my power tools, and they're like,
Yeah.
and it's like everyone's older here, like, and many people are like, I was born in the house I live in, and
Yeah.
I've been here for 70 years, and I'm like, fascinating. I've
That's
lived
sort
in
of the
4 houses
neighborhood
in the
we're
last
in.
5 years.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not 70 years, but they've been here for 30. The development's like 30 years old.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
all the people are usually the original owners. So we're like the youngest people in the neighborhood, and they're looking at me
right,
sawing on my front porch like I'm insane because
yes,
I'm out
uh-huh,
there every day doing
right,
something.
uh-huh,
In fact, my neighbor like texted me and was like, "Are you okay? I haven't seen you outside sawing." I'm like, "I'm stuck in bed with a
sewing.
migraine." Like she knew that something
Yeah,
was wrong
knows
because
if
I
you're
wasn't
not
out
outside
there.
with a saw. Yeah,
So Nora's like,
that's
What are you
so
working on
funny.
today?" I'm like, "You don't even want to know. You don't even want to
Right,
know." But I'm like, "I'll show
right,
you guys when it's all done. We'll have you guys over." But I'm like, right now, I'm
yeah,
like just constantly covered in dust. And like this look here is a very rare occasion. Like
right.
at this
So
point,
fresh, so clean. Yeah,
I'm just covered in construction dust every day. And I
I
just
feel
love
you.
to.
Yeah.
I just got our floors all clean in here, our wood floors from all the dust that we had from the construction we've been doing. And then the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen's about to get done. It's all going to be
Right?
covered
Rip it all
again.
up all over again.
I don't know why I think that
Yeah.
I'm just going to be dust free at some point this year. It's not going to
It's
happen.
not a thing, right?
No.
Not this year. No. But I do love that you got like momentum before your kitchen renovation, that you like have some
Yes.
spaces that are done, because that's a really intense project to go into with nothing
Yeah. I think I needed
around you
like,
that's like,
how like, I guess for me, I just have to always reprove to myself that I'm like capable of doing this, you
yep,
know?
every single project is like, do we know what we're doing? Like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
just like brands will ask you for proof of concept. I'm like proof
Yep.
of concepting myself. I'm like, can you do this?
Right.
Like, will this be
Right.
cute?
Right. Right.
And then also too, like I now see like the vibe. I've made some changes to the original kitchen design just based off of some of the choices that I've made so far in the home. And I think that's really nice too to sort of have a leading off point because the way our house works, it's
Mm.
like one big you I guess square. It's a square. But it's
Yeah.
all the rooms sort of bleed into each other on the main level. So
Okay.
if I'm making some wackadoodle design choice in the kitchen, uh it's gonna
You can see
show
it
in the
from the
living
next
room.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I have to sort of stay in the realm of what I've been doing so far, which actually I think will ultimately
Right.
turn into a really cohesive home, which I think is hard to
Mm-hmm.
do. But I think if you
Yeah.
sort of prove your concept to yourself for the first couple of spaces, start with the smaller projects. I started in the foyer because I knew that would
Right.
be somewhat easier to do. Then I sort of
Right.
evolved to the living room. Now going into the kitchen, I feel like I'm equipped to not only do the renovation, but also I know what style I need to do. I know what design choices I need to make because I've sort of
Right.
already got a thing going, you know?
Right. Yeah. And everything builds on each other. And it's like you
Yes.
eliminate most of the choices when you make one choice for the next space. It's like, well, we did black and white in here, so we're not going to do this in here. You know, it's like it
Yeah.
makes logical sense, like the next space, what it should be.
Yeah,
So yeah,
totally. I think
makes it easier.
it just helps. That's the thing too. Then you're not starting out from scratch. Like, what am I going to do in a
Right.
kitchen? You know? But yeah, we'll see how it turns out. But I think it's going to be really good. And I'm really trying to go for something very classic in the kitchen that stands the test of time.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's because I'm getting older and I'm trying to be more financially savvy. But like, I'm also trying to show
Mm.
people like don't renovate the same room 8,000 times like I did in my last
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
to make design decisions that will stand the test of time, that you won't get sick of. Because
I feel you.
I
Yeah.
re renovated almost every single room in our last house multiple times, and I don't
Uh
think that
huh.
was sending that good of a message to people.
Right.
Uh, because it was kind of a waste at
I
times.
feel you though. It's like I did it for the creativity of it and
Yeah,
because I genuinely love the process
yeah,
and ran out of rooms, but it's like that's not sustainable. So it's
yeah.
like how can you do projects that are like you can keep doing projects, but it doesn't have to be like redoing things.
Yeah, and a house like this,
Yeah.
you're really never going to be done. Like they're
Right.
just not only, say I get all the spaces done in the house, you know how it is. There's always like a new
Yeah.
coffee table you want to build, or there's
Right.
always, a new wall that you want to trim out or something like that. I think our
Right.
last house. I really did everything I could possibly do
Possibly
in
do.
that home.
Yeah.
So then I
Yeah.
was just going to redoing the same rooms over and over again. And I
Yeah.
regret it. I mean, I like some of the designs I ended up with in the end. I regret sort of wasting money and product and
Yeah.
time just sort of redoing all those spaces. And the reason
Right.
was is because I was sort of doing like the fast fashion of
Yeah.
decorating, you know?
Exactly.
I was just going just feeling like I wanted to be trendy all the time and I wasn't using
Mhm.
things that
Mhm.
wouldn't get sick of. It was things I was
Right.
quickly sick of, you know? So I'm
Yes.
hoping I'm making the right decisions in this house that I know I'm going to like for years to come. So that way I won't have to
Yeah.
make any big changes.
Right.
Especially the kitchen renovation. Like I don't want to do that more
Right.
than
Like that's
once.
one you don't want to redo. Right. Like
No.
the paint, yes, I'll repaint a room 100 times, but I will
Yeah.
not redo a kitchen. Like,
No. Heck no.
yeah.
Not at all.
But it is. It's like you got to learn that the hard way sometimes, but now like that's such a strong experience to draw off of. So it's
Yeah.
like even more so you're going to make the right decision because you know
Yeah.
what's like the weight of it kind of.
And I want to set a good example for people too. Like, I don't want everyone to
Yeah.
think that they need to redo all their homes multiple times or each
Right.
room multiple times.
Right.
If you are renovating a room, I want to show you how you can incorporate design trends that will stand the test of time so that you don't have to redo that room multiple times over,
Right.
that you can love it for a long time. So I'm trying to be
Right.
better, trying to think more sustainably than I was in the past.
I like that. I think yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm there too with you. I feel
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I wonder too. I know I'm not supposed. It's your podcast, but I do have to ask you this question. Like, I always see you as someone who really empowers women in our community, and I wonder how you deal with all the comments from the male demographic because
Yeah.
I recently had a YouTube video go viral. This built-in video go viral and medium viral, and I had just a lot of very not so nice comments from men, and
Intense.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you get it a lot because you always focus on
Yeah.
female empowerment. How do you deal with that?
Oh my gosh, this is such a good topic. All the time. And I think it's so funny because so Jessie is very much like you, where it's like she can take anything a woman will throw at her, but if a man makes a comment, like it's just like, oh, like
Yeah.
really disorienting. I'm the
Yeah.
opposite. I actually struggle way more with criticism from women
Women.
than
Mm,
men,
that's
which it's got to
interesting.
be like a mommy issue or something we
Yeah.
should unpack like at some point. But literally, it's like so much of it, it's like I can see straight through it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like making you feel weak. And so
Yeah.
you're like putting on this big peacocky show of like trying to rip me down. But
Mhm.
the only grounds you have is that I'm a woman. That's
Yeah.
it. Like that's what you got. So it's
Yeah.
almost like comical to me because it's like you're just being loud and you're being intense or aggressive
Yeah.
because you're so either like starved for attention or feeling so like weak because I'm doing something that has been like men's work
Yeah.
and something that like you thought was yours or you thought was just
Totally.
for
That
you.
you owned
And so,
completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like it is intense and like the comments are so intense and aggressive, especially on YouTube. Like
Yeah.
comments from men on YouTube over any other
I'm
platform are
telling
like a
you.
specific kind of aggressive.
I
Like I
was
don't even
showing my
know.
dad some of them, and he's like, "Do I need to like find these people?" And I was like, "I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think these are
Yeah.
just, I don't think they're deep seated hatred for me in particular. I just
Yeah.
think it is directed towards women who do this career
Right.
as a general rule. But
Mhm.
I think the one thing that just gets me is I'm still fighting for the culture, you know? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not that I can't handle the comments from men, it's that I still want to see us represented more in tool ads and
Yeah.
in, I was at Home Depot the other day and they had a commercial going for Mother's Day and it was talking about tools for Mother's Day.
Uh-huh.
And I almost could have cried in the dang
Yeah.
store because
Right.
I'm just like, I feel seen right now. And I wish every brand would that's in the DIY home renovation industry would take notice.
Mhm.
We are a huge market for them right now. Like,
Yeah.
why aren't
Yeah.
there? why aren't there more companies catering to us? We spend so much money on tools
Right.
and
Right.
home project, or like home products and things like that.
But yeah, with like the power tool stuff, it's wild. And then it's like, I want them to also really do it. Like, not just like, we've made a pink tool. It's like,
Yes.
no.
Why aren't they more ergonomic for female smaller hands?
Yeah.
I use a
Yeah.
lot of the small DeWalt drills and stuff too because they've made the
Uh huh.
really compact ones, but
Yep.
still the grip size is always very large.
Yep.
Some tools are unnecessarily heavy. Like I feel
Yeah.
like there's probably the technology to build a lighter
To be a
battery
little
for this.
lightweight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm hmm.
I just feel like what a cash cow it would be. If I had the money, if I had investors, I would do it myself and I would go out there
Same.
and I would make power tools for women, not pink power tools, although maybe it's an
Right.
option if someone wants it,
Right. If
okay?
you want a different color. Yeah.
But it's just about the functionality of it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, like
But it
what?
is so interesting with women's workwear. So I recently learned that like
Yeah.
most women's workwear patterns are men's designs and they just shrink them. They don't
Yes.
actually
They
redesign
don't shape
anything
them
to
for the
like
female
fit.
body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is wrong with you? Like women's clothing is like a way bigger market. But
Yeah.
I think it's just like it has to reach critical mass and it has to become more
Yeah.
popular. So that's where I'm like, fine, I'll do it myself. Like I and all of the other amazing female creators, it's like we're on the front edge of like pushing the change.
Yeah. And I'm
And it's
seeing it,
weird.
the Home Depot
Yeah.
commercial, I mean that
Uh-huh.
that is evidence to me that it's happening.
Yeah.
I just wish it was happening faster because this
Yeah.
is when I'm in my prime DIY era.
Yeah. Isn't it
So,
weird though that it's how
yeah,
fast it isn't? Like
I
I
know.
literally remember at the Haven conference like 4 years ago, I was like pitching Home Depot to work with them and my
Yeah.
pitch literally was like look at all these DMs I get from women who are terrified to go into your store. Like legitimately like I don't want to go into
Yeah.
Home Depot because of the way I'm treated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need to change this and I can help you. And they were like, "Oh, okay."
And I'll tell
Why are
you
you
one
so
thing.
crazy?
And I mean, I love Home Depot. It's, where I go,
Yes.
but
My go-to.
there's
Yeah.
still a ways to go when it comes to even just shoppability in the store. I
Yeah.
mean, how intimidating is it? And trust me, I mean, at this point I'm less intimidated, but it's still
Right.
there. It's not just me as a woman, but me as a disabled creator or a
Yeah.
differently abled creator. When I go in there and I need a 16-foot board or something, and I gotta pull it out of this giant rack. I am 5'3", 5'4" on a good day, okay?
Right.
And there are just people staring at me like I'm crazy pants, and I'm
Like,
like,
what is she doing? It's like, do you
what's
want to
what's
come
the
lift this board?
alternative? Yeah, like I
Right.
don't have anyone to come pull these boards for me, and I don't want to need someone to pull these boards
Right.
for me either. So why isn't there a way that we could have an aisle where they're stacked horizontally somehow,
Mm-hmm.
especially for common things like
Yeah.
baseboards, crown molding, picture molding, things
Right.
like that. Why aren't there like more fancy displays showing different picture molding projects? And I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like the shoppability isn't quite there yet. But
Right.
I
Right.
think there's a change coming. I think Home Depot's leading that charge, and I love to see it.
Yes.
I hope
And they're
that
at
it
least listening
continues.
in even the parts that they
Yes.
haven't quite got. They're at least like watching and listening, which is
Yeah.
encouraging.
And there's
Yeah.
quite, I mean, we're not asking for the moon and the stars. I'm not asking for Home Depot to rebrand, neon pink and,
Right.
uh, you know, do everything for just women. What I'm asking for is additional representation in the way we shop, how we shop
Yeah.
there, how we're viewed as
Right.
creators. I just think the culture is leading, we are leading the charge, us DIY girls in this community. And I hope
Mm-hmm.
that more people than just Home Depot are starting to listen and realize like
Right.
there's it's not even just about like representing people. They're gonna make money when they
Right.
when they
It's
switch
like
things
a
around.
it's like an economically sound choice alongside being like the right
Literally.
thing to do. So
Like
like,
if
yeah.
somebody tomorrow came out with a line of like female friendly tools that were easier to handle with our somewhat smaller hands, that were easier to lift,
Yeah.
that were maybe like a nude color or black
Right?
or
Like a
white, like
neutral?
a
Could we
little
get a neutral? Okay.
shaker.
I'm sick of the red and
Yeah.
green. Like, give me a neutral. Yeah.
Do they know that they would sell it out in 2 seconds? There would constantly be a demand for it.
Right.
I'm just like, free ideas,
Right. Hello.
free.
All we're saying is you need to hurry up or we're going to be opening a hardware store called Peony and Brunch and we're going to beat you to it. So take that.
Literally, I know. I wish I had like generational wealth or something
I
and I
know,
could
right?
just start my own line. But I know starting a tool company
Sounds
seems
exhausting.
expensive
Right. And
and
expensive.
exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems
But
like I might
somebody's
need
got
like
to do it.
$1 billion or a
Right.
few,
Right.
but
Oh my gosh. So
I
good.
hope
But I
it
will.
happens. I hope to see it.
Right. It's gotta, yeah, gotta happen. Somebody's gotta think of
Yeah.
it besides
I
us.
know. I know. We need like a conference. So we need to just like talk to all the top home brands and be like,
Right.
yo, look
Here's
at all
what's
we're
up.
doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to get
At
behind
the
it?
very minimum, it would be nice if I had a contractor come inside my house that looks at me and not my husband the
Oh
whole
my
time.
God. Right. My favorite is like, I had at our old house, like my girl garage, which was like pink and yellow and like very vibrantly colorful with
Yeah.
all the
I
tools on
remember
the wall.
your seat, your hot pink tool seat. I
Oh,
love that.
right. So pink. And then people would come over to like fix the washer and like look out and be like, oh, your husband's tools. And it's like, what? Why do you see that? And your first thought,
Yeah.
it's like, it just must be so ingrained. But I would just
Yeah,
stand
and
there
it
and like
is,
look at them and they'd see
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. But it's like, I'll
I
just leave you a
mean,
moment to kind of, circle through what you
let
were
it
saying
sink
there.
in.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Well, and I'll tell you too, it really is ingrained because I mean, I never picked up a power tool before 2020.
Yeah.
And my dad and my grandfather are carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Mine
could
too.
have
That's
been
so funny. Yeah.
learning.
Uh-huh.
I could have been figuring this out and probably developed a lot more skills than I have now
Right.
had I thought to even, it never even occurred to me. And it didn't occur to me to pick up a power tool because
Right.
it was never encouraged. It was never
Yeah.
represented.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing, you
Right.
know?
Same. Like my
Um,
dad taught me to use a drill because he was like an electrical contractor, home builder. So I learned
yeah,
that. But like my brother had a whole construction birthday where he like took the blades out of the saws and let them like
yeah,
play with all the power tools. And it just like, it never
yeah.
occurred to him that like to teach
Maybe
me
you'd be
that.
interested in it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just like you
yeah. And
teach your boys the
my
tools.
dad,
Like, okay,
exactly.
sure.
And when my dad came out to like help with, I did get a lot of comments. Oh, your daddy built it for you. I'm like, you don't understand. My dad sat on the couch for much of the project and
Right.
directed us.
Right.
Okay. But he was even shocked because this was the first project he's worked on with me in person since 2020. And in 2020, I never used a brad nailer. I never
Yeah.
used a miter saw.
Yeah.
I was literally just handing him tools in
Mm-hmm.
2020
Mm-hmm.
and maybe like using sanding blocks and drills, things like that, helping
Right.
him with the last project we did together. But so he was just looking at me, and I think I figured out when we were mitering the edges of the crown molding
Yeah.
that we put up here. And I figured out the angles like before my dad could figure it
Yep.
out. He was
Yep.
just looking at me in disbelief, like,
Uh-huh.
I have taught you well, like how,
Right.
I can't believe that she surpassed me in this one element of
Right.
building.
Yeah.
But it's empowering. And
Yeah.
I always see, I had to mention that because I always see you as someone in this community that really backs women and empowers us to sort of pick up any power tool and just
Yeah.
or try any project we never tried before and just see if we can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Oh.
that's the advice we always give to our followers, isn't it? That
Yes.
just try.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the worst thing that can happen is you ruin something,
Right. Right.
which everything can be fixed,
Right. Everything can be fixed or repainted or redone or yeah.
redone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really appreciate that you're one of those strong female voices in our community. Like
Oh, thanks for saying
that's what
that.
I take away from
Yeah.
you.
Oh. I think that's the beauty of our community too, right? It's like there's such a perfect space for everyone and like your unique
Totally.
story and your unique style like is serving
Yes.
such a purposeful specific part of the community and we need all of us. Like we need all different angles to really be
Totally.
able to like fully push a movement like this forward of like
Yeah.
women picking up tools, women taking charge of their spaces, women fighting, chronic illness to still show
Yep.
up and be intentional. It's like And I think that's like really why I started the podcast, is like I want to talk to everybody and like see their own little spot, because it's just
Yeah.
so cool. Like it gives me chills every time. I'm like, this is
And we are all
amazing.
so different. We all are
Yeah.
coming from different backgrounds. We all
Yeah.
have different reasons for why we do what we do.
Exactly.
It was nice. Even I just had Crystal from Perkins on Parkway out here helping me
She's
with
so
the
cool. Yeah.
bookshelves. She's the best. She's a former Mormon, so she's got
Yeah.
this whole backstory
Right.
of growing up in the church and how that has impacted her
Yeah.
abilities to DIY and things like that. She's
Mm.
just fascinating. It's just fascinating to hear different people's backgrounds and how they use their different upbringing to design, to DIY, and
Yes.
how they interact with their communities. I just think it's really cool. I think
It's so cool.
um, that's the best part about our job is just getting to not only inspire other people, but be inspired by
Yeah.
the other girls that are doing this, and the
Exactly.
guys too. Okay. I do like
Fine, you
some
can
of
come
my
too.
my home creator guys as well.
Right. And it's like a smaller space, but it's also so important because like representation needs to exist anywhere. And like as a woman trying to be like, we deserve to be in this space too, we're not saying like, it's ours now, get out. Like, we're just saying like,
Right.
make room for everyone. And so it's so important that people, like all the male creators, have their platforms, or non-binary, or
Yeah.
whoever it is, that like
Yeah.
everyone is represented, and that you can see not only like a million different home design styles, but a million different
Hmm.
stories, a million different like approaches to the process, so you can find
Yeah.
someone or pieces of each story and be like, that's me and I could do that. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
you need it all, you really do.
It's amazing to see yourself in other creators
Mm,
and what they're doing. Like I really enjoy
yes.
that aspect of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't always have I some most of the people I'm friends with, it's so funny. The people I'm closest to on the platform, we all have vastly different styles. Like
Same,
we could
same.
not be more different. I
Yeah.
think of someone like Rebecca DIY, and her
Uh-huh.
whole house is like bubblegum
Rainbow
pink.
pink.
And
Yeah.
yet I love it. I
I
love
know.
everything she does. I think she's so creative. And I'm always inspired by her, but it's like
Yep.
you would never know that when you see all the black and gray and dark blue in my
Right.
house. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you just would be like, what?
What?
But
Yeah.
it's just, I have a respect for people who just own their style and do it so well, you
Right.
know?
Right. And it's
I
like,
just
I
think
don't want
that's
your
really
pink in
cool.
my house, but I look at you embodying your style in your house in such a strong way and be like, yes, like I love that. I
Yeah.
love that for
I always
you.
say like
Like,
in another life I'd be Rebecca,
right.
like I would and I had a moment in the 2020 era. We were all depressed with COVID where
I
I
did
like
too. Where it was
put
like
color
pink.
everywhere in
Yeah.
my house, pink
Yeah.
and bright blues and turquoise. And then I was like, this is not me. This was my depression
Right.
speaking.
Right. Like trying
This
to
was me being like,
overcompensate for like the moodiness
yes.
going on inside. Yeah.
We're not going outside to places. Okay,
Uh-huh.
well everything
Yeah.
needs to be in color,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
but yeah, I'm like, but Rebecca lives that life all the time. And I'm like, you
Right.
must be like the most chipper, positive person. And she is. She
Is.
really is,
Yeah.
you know?
I
So
know,
it's just like
talking on the
she is
phone to
her
her
style.
too. She's just like so. I always leave feeling like, oh, like I'm so,
Yeah.
like
She's a breath
yeah,
of fresh air as
uplifted.
a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's great.
Yeah.
But I just love that. Like, there are just so many different um, design styles that I so respect and love, even though they
Yeah.
don't end up in my house.
Exactly.
I borrow the smallest things from people,
Right.
and it maybe shows up in a different way in my house, but
Mm-hmm.
the respect is always there for their art, you
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what real art is. Like being able to look at
Yeah.
something and see the art in it without needing to be like, I need it for me. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
I love that.
Totally.
Well, this episode is going to be incredible. I feel like there's so many takeaways, even if it's just that people like get to find you and connect with you and follow
Yeah. I
you,
really
like
appreciate it.
homes will be changed. So, yeah, thank you
Thanks for
so
having
much for your
me.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. And if you've got more episodes to catch up on, binge on. Don't let me stop you. But if you've got a second, you should come say hi on Insta at MakeSpacePod. And if you're an overachiever, you can also leave a review and I'll love you forever. If you're new here, hit that follow button to officially become a DIY queen and join all the amazing humans tuning in every week.